What if I told you there are common farming practices that can instantly destroy your crops and bankrupt your operation in 2025, while most farmers are still doing these deadly mistakes without realizing the devastating consequences? What I'm about to show you will save your farm from financial ruin and reveal the critical errors that are putting thousands of farmers out of business this year. Mistake number one: never farm without professional advice. At the top of our list sits the deadliest mistake, destroying more farms than drought, disease, and market crashes combined: attempting to navigate modern agriculture's exponential complexity without professional guidance from agricultural consultants, financial advisors, and industry specialists who understand the intricate systems that determine farming success or catastrophic failure. This isn't just being independent or self-reliant. This is professional isolation that guarantees expensive mistakes in every critical area of farm management, while successful operations leverage expert networks to avoid the costly errors that bankrupt family farms. Farmers operating without professional consultation lose an average of $150,000 to $300,000 annually through suboptimal decisions, missed opportunities, and catastrophic mistakes that agricultural professionals prevent routinely through specialized expertise. The consultation fees of $10,000 to $25,000 annually provide documented returns of 500 to 1,000% through improved profitability, risk management, and strategic decision-making that individual farmers cannot possibly master across all specialty areas. What makes professional isolation truly fatal to farming operations is how agricultural complexity increased exponentially in 2024 to 2025, while individual farmers cannot possibly master every specialty area that determines success or failure in modern agriculture. Tax law changes, environmental regulations, commodity marketing strategies, equipment selection criteria, and financial management require current expertise that no single person can maintain effectively across all critical areas simultaneously. The failure pattern is absolutely devastating. Family farms attempting to handle tax planning, regulatory compliance, market timing, and financial management internally make expensive mistakes in every operational area, while professional guidance prevents the $500,000 plus errors that destroy farming operations within single growing seasons. The false economy of avoiding professional fees costs exponentially more than professional services prevent through expert knowledge and current industry connections. The isolation trap is staggering. Farmers trying to save money by avoiding agricultural consultants, accountants, and marketing specialists create knowledge gaps that result in missed opportunities worth hundreds of thousands annually, while making costly mistakes that professional oversight would prevent immediately. This professional isolation represents the ultimate farming mistake, proving that successful modern agriculture requires specialized expertise networks rather than attempting to master every complex aspect of farming operations through individual effort alone. Mistake number two: never delay equipment maintenance. Postponing critical equipment maintenance to save a few $1,000s creates mechanical disasters during harvest that cost farmers $500,000 to $1 million in lost crops and emergency repairs when equipment fails during the narrow windows that determine annual income. This isn't just deferred maintenance creating inconvenience. This is penny-wise bankruptcy strategy that destroys entire seasons of work through preventable mechanical failures that occur precisely when farmers need equipment most desperately for survival. Preventive maintenance programs cost $5,000 to $15,000 annually, but prevent harvest equipment failures that destroy $200,000 to $500,000 worth of ready crops when combines and tractors break down during critical harvest windows. Emergency repairs cost 300 to 500% more than scheduled maintenance, while crops deteriorate rapidly in fields, creating compounding losses that escalate exponentially with each day of delay. What makes maintenance delays truly devastating is how modern equipment complexity transforms minor problems into complete system failures that require weeks of repair time during harvest periods when every single day of equipment downtime costs $10,000 to $25,000 in crop quality degradation and weather damage risk. The computerized systems and precision components in today's equipment create cascading failures where one worn part destroys multiple expensive systems simultaneously. The timing disaster is absolutely catastrophic. Farmers face total annual income loss when equipment failures occur during narrow harvest windows that cannot be extended or repeated. While crop insurance rarely covers losses from mechanical breakdowns that could have been prevented through proper maintenance, scheduling, and professional execution. The parts crisis is staggering. Equipment manufacturers voided warranties for maintenance delays in 2025, while global supply chain disruptions make emergency parts unavailable during peak demand periods when farmers desperately need repairs completed immediately. The combination of voided warranties and parts shortages creates impossible repair situations during critical seasons. The economic reality is harsh. Farmers who delay $10,000 in preventive maintenance face $200,000 plus in emergency repairs and crop losses. While proper maintenance scheduling ensures equipment reliability during the brief periods that determine farming success or catastrophic failure. This maintenance gambling represents mechanical suicide that destroys more farm operations than weather disasters through completely preventable equipment failures. Mistake number 3, never ignore regulatory changes. Remaining unaware of new agricultural regulations is costing farmers hundreds of thousands in devastating penalties while creating legal liability that threatens farm ownership and destroys family financial security through government enforcement that has become increasingly aggressive and unforgiving. This isn't just paperwork compliance creating minor inconvenience. This is regulatory ignorance that results in immediate shutdown orders, crushing fines, and legal battles that bankrupt farming operations faster than crop failures through violations that farmers never knew existed. Environmental compliance violations now carry fines of $25,000 to $100,000 per incident, while labor law changes create penalties of $10,000 to $50,000 per violation that destroy farm profitability instantly. New pesticide restrictions cause $200,000 plus losses when farmers unknowingly use banned chemicals, while water usage regulations trigger penalties that can exceed entire annual farm income from single violations. What makes regulatory ignorance truly catastrophic is how government agencies fundamentally changed enforcement strategies in 2024 to 2025, moving from educational warnings to immediate maximum penalties, while farmers remain completely unaware of rule changes that create instant legal liability. The regulatory complexity increases exponentially every year, while penalties become more severe and enforcement becomes more aggressive through expanded inspection programs targeting agricultural operations. The enforcement reality is absolutely terrifying. Farms face immediate shutdown orders for compliance violations that farmers didn't know existed, while legal defense costs exceed $100,000 even for minor infractions that could have been prevented through basic awareness of current regulations affecting agricultural operations. The government agencies expanded inspection authority and penalty structures specifically targeting farming operations in 2025. The legal nightmare is staggering. Agricultural law firms report 400% increases in farmer compliance violations since 2024, while government enforcement budgets doubled specifically for agricultural inspections that generate massive penalty revenue from unknowing farmers. The compliance trap is devastating. Farmers who avoid legal consultation to save money face penalties that cost 50 to 100 times more than regulatory compliance services, while proper legal guidance prevents violations that destroy operations through government enforcement actions. This regulatory gambling represents legal suicide that destroys family farms through preventable violations that professional agricultural lawyers identify and prevent routinely for clients who understand modern compliance requirements. Mistake number 4, never plant without crop insurance. Operating without comprehensive crop insurance in 2025 is agricultural suicide that gambles entire family operations on perfect weather, while climate volatility destroys uninsured crops across the country through unprecedented storm systems, drought patterns, and temperature extremes that make traditional farming wisdom completely obsolete. This isn't just taking calculated risks to save insurance premiums. This is farming Russian roulette that guarantees eventual bankruptcy when weather disasters strike operations with zero financial protection against total crop destruction. Crop insurance costs $15 to $25 per acre, but prevents complete financial annihilation when weather disasters destroy 50 to 100% of crop value during single storm events. Uninsured farmers lose $500 to $1,500 per acre during weather catastrophes, with individual storm systems causing $200,000 to $500,000 total losses that bankrupt family operations instantly, without any possibility of financial recovery. What makes crop insurance avoidance truly devastating is how climate change transformed weather unpredictability into the new agricultural reality. While traditional farming wisdom about normal weather patterns no longer applies to modern risk management strategies, the insurance premiums become completely meaningless when single weather events destroy entire annual income streams without coverage that would provide replacement funds for continuing operations. The bankruptcy pattern is absolutely merciless. Uninsured farms facing total crop destruction must immediately sell land, equipment, and livestock to survive single bad seasons, while insured operations receive payments that cover production costs and provide operating funds for following years' planting and equipment needs. The climate reality is staggering. Federal meteorologists report 300% increases in extreme weather events since 2023, while traditional weather patterns that farmers relied on for generations no longer predict seasonal conditions accurately enough for uninsured farming operations. The insurance evolution is remarkable. Federal crop insurance programs expanded coverage options significantly for 2025, making comprehensive protection more affordable than ever, while weather volatility makes coverage absolutely essential for operational survival rather than optional risk management. This insurance gambling represents financial suicide that destroys more farm families than market crashes through completely preventable weather-related bankruptcies that proper coverage prevents routinely. Mistake number 5. Never buy equipment without financial pre-approval. Purchasing agricultural equipment based on verbal promises or preliminary credit discussions is the fastest way to destroy farm credit ratings and trigger bankruptcy proceedings that end family farming operations permanently through legal obligations farmers cannot fulfill. This isn't just poor financial planning creating temporary cash flow problems. This is credit suicide that traps farmers in equipment contracts they cannot afford when final financing terms prove unacceptable or completely unavailable through lenders who change requirements after purchase agreements are signed. Farmers making equipment purchases without secure financing pre-approval face interest rate increases of 3 to 8% that cost $50,000 to $200,000 extra over loan terms, while financing rejections force desperate arrangements with predatory lenders charging 15 to 25% rates that guarantee financial failure within 3 years of equipment purchase. What makes unconfirmed financing truly destructive is how equipment dealers use psychological pressure tactics and artificial limited time offers to force purchasing decisions before farmers secure actual loan approval, creating binding legal obligations for machines they cannot afford when final credit terms prove unacceptable or financing disappears entirely due to changed bank policies or credit requirements. The repossession nightmare is absolutely devastating. Family farms lose expensive equipment through forced repossession when promised financing disappears, while emergency refinancing attempts during financial stress destroy credit ratings for decades and force immediate sale of productive farmland to satisfy equipment debts that should never have been incurred without confirmed financing. The credit destruction is staggering. Banks tightened agricultural lending standards dramatically in 2024 to 2025, making preliminary discussions meaningless while pre-approval verification became essential rather than optional for any equipment purchase exceeding $50,000 in value. The dealer manipulation is systematic. Equipment salespeople receive commissions regardless of whether farmers can actually afford purchases, while high-pressure tactics exploit farmers' emotional attachment to new equipment during critical decision-making periods when rational financial analysis gets abandoned. This financing gambling represents credit suicide that destroys farm financial stability through preventable equipment obligations that proper pre-approval processes would eliminate completely before legal commitments are made. Mistake number 6. Never skip soil testing to save money. Avoiding annual soil tests to save $500 to $800 is costing farmers $20,000 to $40,000 in lost yields and unnecessary fertilizer expenses that could bankrupt operations within 3 growing seasons through invisible soil chemistry problems that destroy crop production. This isn't just cutting corners on farm inputs to reduce expenses. This is agricultural blindness that wastes thousands applying wrong fertilizers while crops suffer from hidden deficiencies that proper testing would reveal instantly and correct affordably. Comprehensive soil testing costs $50 to $80 per field, but prevents over-fertilization mistakes costing $200 to $400 per acre, nutrient deficiencies reducing yields by 30 to 50%, and pH problems that make expensive fertilizers completely unavailable to plant roots despite massive applications that provide zero benefit to crop production. What makes soil testing avoidance truly catastrophic is how invisible soil chemistry changes occur constantly through weather patterns, crop nutrient removal, and natural biological processes that make previous year's recommendations completely invalid for current growing conditions. Farmers operating on assumptions rather than current data waste thousands applying unnecessary fertilizers, while crops suffer from undetected deficiencies that destroy yield potential throughout entire growing seasons. The yield destruction is absolutely devastating. Fields with unknown nutrient levels produce inconsistent yields that destroy marketing plans and cash flow projections, while overapplication of unnecessary fertilizers costs $10,000 plus annually per farm operation and creates environmental problems that trigger regulatory penalties and legal liability issues. The false economy is staggering. Farmers avoiding $800 in soil testing face $30,000 plus losses through reduced yields and wasted fertilizer applications, while proper testing identifies exactly which nutrients crops need for optimal production at minimal cost. The precision requirement is essential. Modern precision agriculture demands data-driven fertilizer decisions rather than guesswork applications, making soil testing as fundamental as checking fuel levels before operating field equipment. This testing avoidance represents agricultural blindness that destroys profitability through preventable nutrient management mistakes that proper soil analysis eliminates completely through scientific measurement rather than costly assumptions. Mistake number 7. Never use social media for market timing. Social media has become the worst possible source for commodity market decisions. Yet farmers are losing millions by following trading advice from influencers who have never grown a single crop, while promoting strategies designed to benefit large commodity traders at the expense of individual producers. This isn't just getting poor investment advice from unqualified sources. This is crowd psychology manipulation that destroys farm finances through manufactured market panic and artificial trading signals that benefit corporate interests while bankrupting family operations through mistimed sales and disastrous contract decisions. Farmers following social media trading advice lose an average of $75,000 to $150,000 annually through mistimed grain sales, poor contract decisions, and panic selling during manufactured market fear campaigns specifically designed to benefit institutional traders who profit from individual farmer losses through market manipulation tactics. What makes social media market advice truly dangerous is how algorithmic amplification spreads financial misinformation faster than accurate market analysis, while influencers profit from engagement regardless of whether their advice destroys farm finances completely. The platforms prioritize viral content over accurate agricultural economics, creating echo chambers that reinforce costly mistakes and multiply financial losses through coordinated misinformation campaigns. The bankruptcy pattern is absolutely systematic. Family farms go bankrupt following trendy market theories promoted by social media personalities who profit from course sales and affiliate commissions, while farmers lose everything betting against fundamental supply and demand economics that determine actual commodity values over time. The influence manipulation is staggering. Agricultural influencers receive payments from commodity trading firms to promote specific market positions that benefit institutional investors while destroying individual farmer profits through coordinated market manipulation disguised as educational content. The professional alternative is reliable. Professional agricultural economists and local elevator managers provide market guidance based on decades of actual farming experience and real market knowledge, while social media influencers profit from clicks rather than farming success. This social media gambling represents financial suicide that destroys more family farms than weather disasters through preventable market timing mistakes that professional guidance would eliminate completely. Mistake number 8. Never trust weather apps for critical decisions. Let's start our countdown with a modern mistake that's destroying more crops than drought itself. Relying on smartphone weather apps for critical farming decisions when these consumer-grade predictions are completely unreliable for the agricultural precision that determines success or catastrophic failure. This isn't just using convenient technology for general weather awareness. This is digital deception that costs farmers tens of thousands annually through mistimed applications, failed harvests, and crop damage from weather events. These apps completely fail to predict with the accuracy that farming operations require for survival. Weather apps designed for city dwellers provide forecasts accurate within 10 to 15-mile radiuses, but farming decisions require hyperlocal precision within 1 to 2 miles, where microclimatic conditions can vary dramatically. Farmers trusting these consumer apps lose an average of $25,000 to $50,000 annually through mistimed chemical applications, failed harvest timing, and crop damage from weather events that professional agricultural weather services detected days earlier with specialized equipment. What makes weather app reliance truly devastating is how these consumer applications prioritize user engagement over agricultural accuracy, using algorithms designed to keep people checking their phones rather than providing the precision meteorological data that farming operations require for economic survival. The forecasts optimize for general population entertainment rather than the specific microclimatic conditions that determine agricultural success or complete failure. The application disasters are absolutely costly. Farmers report spraying expensive chemicals hours before unexpected rain that washes treatments away completely, harvesting crops during humidity spikes that cause serious storage problems, and missing optimal planting windows because apps failed to predict sudden weather changes that local agricultural weather stations detected accurately days in advance. The professional alternative is essential. Professional agricultural weather services cost $200 to $500 annually, but prevent the $50,000 plus losses that occur when farmers base critical operations on free apps designed for casual users rather than commercial agriculture that demands precision timing. This weather gambling represents digital suicide that destroys farm profitability through preventable timing mistakes that proper meteorological services would eliminate completely through agricultural-grade forecasting. These 8 deadly mistakes represent the difference between farms that thrive in 2025 and operations that fail catastrophically from preventable errors that destroy family agricultural legacies built over generations. From weather app disasters that cost tens of thousands to professional isolation that bankrupt entire operations, each mistake proves that modern farming requires precision, expertise, and professional guidance that cannot be replaced by shortcuts or dangerous false economies. While struggling farmers try to save money through cost-cutting measures that actually destroy their operations, successful farmers invest in the knowledge, tools, and professional relationships that ensure long-term profitability and survival in agriculture's increasingly complex environment. If you're ready to avoid these operation-destroying mistakes and discover the strategies that successful farmers use to thrive in 2025's challenging agricultural landscape, make sure to subscribe for expert guidance that could save your farm from financial ruin and operational disaster. And don't miss the next video on your screen, where I reveal the farming practices that consistently create profitable operations regardless of market conditions, weather challenges, or regulatory pressures that destroy unprepared farming businesses.